Now I'm setting up. I'm going to do a higher grind. Before I was doing a 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to do an 1 1/8 high grind on this. I use an online calculator at Wedge Geek or Wedgeck. So I'm going to go up 1 1/8. The blank thickness is 0.166, and I want a remaining thickness before secondary bevel of 0.015. And so that tells me I need to set the angle at 3.8 degrees. When I'm making a new setup, before I start, I'll square things up so that I have a place to a known place to start from. All right, so that's 90 degrees. Turn on my Wixie. Alright, I'll zero it. And now I'm going to move 3.8 degrees. I'm going to keep it real close to 3.8 and not bump it too hard towards 3.9, because this only reads out in tenths, and so I could have all the way up to hundredths. All right, we're climbing up there. 3.5, 3.6, 7, 8. Back that up just a tad and go for it once more. 6. Still 6. I felt it move, but it's still 6. 7, 8. Alright, we just made 8. Make sure that stays there. Alright, we're at 3.8. I'm going to go with that. The first blank on. Let me get back here ways out of the way. We've got some space. First one. Put my plate up against there. A little water on it. Plate up against there. Second one I put on top of the plate. That's the one that's going to ride the plate. And I'll go ahead and put the plate in, or the angle in position. Now I don't push the angle too hard. I like it to be able to move freely without slop. So I push it some, but I don't clamp it up and make it really difficult. I like it to move freely like that, but there isn't a significant amount of play. Yeah, I like that. Now I will mark my plunge cut. I'm using a 15-degree plunge, or a 15-degree sweep on the plunge. Do that from the bottom side, sweep forward. I'm going to leave 1/8 of an inch back here roughly. Come up about that much. I'm going to take the plunge stop and transfer that that plunge target line to the other side of the knife so that they're the same location and the same angle. And that's just for reference when I'm cutting. All right, I'll make another mark right here. Now I'll put the blanks together. I like to start on the left side. That's my weak hand. So I like to do that one first. I've found that it's easier for me to match the bevel grind when I'm using my right hand. I don't match as well when I'm using my left hand, so I do that one first. Just gonna set these down on these blanks here. I'm just gonna set these down and line them up. They're pretty close. They're really cut nicely. All right, now this is the one I'm after to grind. Slip this on there. Got my plunge mark. I'll line this up on it. The reason I'm doing this is to give me space to get past the edge of the guide into the belt. Alright, right on that. Move this around. Those handles out of the way. Set there. I'm going to set this to 1 1/8. Set this to 1 1/8. I'm going to go this direction. I got room to work towards my plunge. I'm going to get this right down there on top of it this time. I've had alright, so we're going to watch right on there, and that carrier rides on top of this plate right here, and that controls the depth and it controls the blank from going in too deep. And that going in too deep or falling off this plate isn't a problem on the first side. When you get to the second side and it starts to get thin, then you can fall off of that plate and go down into the throat there and overgrind your bevel. And it's really frustrating when that happens. So that's the purpose of the carrier, is to provide a positive foot on that plate all the time while matching the bevel profile of the blank being ground. And I happen to have extra blanks here to use as that. And also you can use, I've used plastic before, I've used plywood to do that carrier, used sheet metal, mild steel. I've got a stock of mild steel that I use. I'll use that later when I do this last blank, because all the blanks will be ground. Then I will make a carrier out of sheet metal for this, and I'll show that process. This is one of the worst bent ones. You can see it right there. So I'm going to have to do some work on that one. It's going to most likely climb very quickly up front and then slower back here. But we've already demonstrated how we can handle that. Alright, away we go. We're going to run at 7,600 surface feet per minute with an 80 grit belt. Contact. Takes me a little bit to knock the teeth off. Takes me a little bit to knock the grit off of that, so I get clean edges. This is what I'm looking at right now. I need to come over about a 1/10 of an inch. You see that it's cruising straight up the plunge target line right there. Of course, it's fat right here like we discussed, getting narrow back there. Ways to go. Oh yeah, let it hit hard. Lining up nice. About 3/16 of an inch left to go. Alright, so right around here, I'm getting closer than back here. So I'm going to monitor this area and start slowing down and then moving back to this area. Alright, so that worked. Got 1 1/8 all the way across here. I'm going to put on the Trizac belt. Clean that up. Yeah, I like that feel a lot better. I don't like the feel of the tape joint. This is smooth and uniform contact. Yeah, I like the results even better. You get a lot more contact on this high grind than on the other lower bevel, so I need to take some time to cool it. Clean up good. I'm doing the targeting grinding method here. I ground the tip. Now I'm grinding the flat, and then I'll grind the ricochet area next. A little bit more here on the flat. Take a little more speed on this. Oh yeah, I like that speed better. Tiny bit more. Move this over a bit and start going in for the plunge. Just working that last inch. Let's stop there with that one. I noticed just now I forgot to grind the plunge, so I'm going to go back and cut the plunge. Alright, I got ahead of myself. Forgot to cut the plunge line. So I'm going to go back in there and cut the plunge over to where I wanted it. So I'll go over there and cut that, then I'll come back and clean this. Shouldn't be a big issue. Back it out. About 40 thousandths to go over. Back up, go in, and cut again. And back up, go in there, cut. Alright, I'm getting about half of what I wanted. About 20 left. Back up. Go in. Cut. Perfect, right up the line. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and finish the plunge. Very carefully. You can see the plunge climbing up here. So I'm just grinding that up to there. Very specific grinding location.